Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:07 on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here to this Monday morning extravaganza. We're going to get you going and informed and entertained. And hopefully you'll have a smile on your face at the end of it. Unless you're a Geritol pumping left-wing activist out there, a hippie who stinks of kombucha and weed, beating the drums, singing "We Shall Overcome." That really was a pathetic display. That's the best they got, by the way. Hands off. Hands off, indeed. No offense. I have to bend over backwards now because people are saying, "Hey, I'm over 65." Yes, we love you. You're smart. This isn't about you. You know who we're talking about. All right. 7:05, Joe DeGeneva will join us. 7:35, Maryland Delegate Matt Morgan. 8:05, Katie Gorka, Fairfax Republican Chairwoman. And at 8:35, Steve Moore on how these tariffs are shaken down. I'll tell you this about the tariffs, Julie. They're not happy in China. 12% drop in their stock market.
Yikes.
If you're arguing tariffs don't work, well, if part of the reason for the tariffs was to get China's attention and put them on the defensive and maybe make a dent in their economic world dominance at our expense, this seems to have worked. If a 12% drop in the stock market is any indication. All right, let's move to trans news, shall we? We have lots of all those transgenders. They're making news left and right.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Especially when it comes to athletics and sporting events. And, you know, for this is something that I'm constantly told is a non-issue. It never happens.
Doesn't happen.
This affects 0.1% of female athletes. Why is this even an issue? Why are you even worried about it? The world of billiards. Did you ever used to play pool? Pool was pretty. We had a pool table when I was growing up. I don't know how that happened, but I was the youngest of 4 boys, and for some reason, my dad was like, "I got an idea. Let's get a pool table in the basement."
Smart.
I guess it was just keep us downstairs all the time.
Yes. Now we have video games.
Yes.
You know, I always wanted to be one of those cool girls who walks into a, and like,
the black dress with the slit up one leg.
I always wanted to be able to do that.
Mid thigh, and they lean on the table and cross their legs to make the trick shot.
I'm really
exactly.
Tapped into something here.
Let me tell you something. I see a headline go by over the weekend about female billiards, and I'm like, I'm in for it. It's so funny. Whenever there's like sporting events going on and like a big, it's the Final Four this weekend. If my team's not in it, I don't care. I'm not watching.
I love how we're actually talking about the whole point of this is trans women. I don't think you're going to get the same. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get the same kind of.
Let me tell you something. 15 years ago, Larry O'Connor. Watching, and the Final Four doesn't include my team, so I don't care. So you turn on to ESPN or ESPN2 or ESPN 7.5, whatever they've got now, and they always counter program. It's like, well, everybody's over there watching basketball, but if you don't like basketball, here we've got women's billiards, and it was hot. It was so. My God, these women. These women are amazing. So then I'm looking over the week. Here we go. It's the championship, the ultimate pool women's pro series event too. It's the finals in the UK.
Nice.
Those British women, they like so. And they take the cue stick and the chalk and they start rotating the stick and they're like,
keep it clean, Larry. Keep it.
It's just there's everything about it. It's just trust me, ladies. Ask your husband. This is very erotic. It's very fun to watch. So I tune in, and the 2 finalists are dudes.
I know. Yeah.
Forget about the dress with the slit up the skirt.
They're not even trying.
They're not even trying. These are the most masculine women you will ever see.
These are men with long hair.
Because they've got male genitals. That's why.
Yeah. These are men with these are trans. Oh, they like to say trans women. No, these are men with ponytails. That's it.
Harriet Haynes. Think about it. Here you are. You're able to reimagine yourself, reinvent yourself. You're now identifying as a woman, and you choose Harriet. Harriet. You choose the name of though it sounds like a witch from a 1940 horror drama. Harriet. All right.
I mean, why not choose
Harriet
Bertha?
Haynes? Yeah, why would you purposely name yourself after the nosy neighbor in a bad sitcom?
That's right.
I'm re-identifying. I'm now Harriet. Why?
Why?
Maybe be Ginger or
Here we go. Just
Sabrina or
stay on track.
Heather. Yes. Hot names. All right. So Harriet Haynes, I'm guessing his name is Harry, and he just decided to keep it real.
There you go.
Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith, both men who identify as female. They're both the finalists. So great job, guys. Great job, liberals.
League. A women's league, the women's
nice work
pro series. There you go. We have it was designed to take over women's sports. They've done it. They've done it. Well done.
Both finalists are men competing for the championship, and they've done it. That's congratulations. There was also a track and field star, a pole vaulter. In fact, don't even get me started on women's. Pole vaulting.
No, we're not going to go there.
But this one, once again, this thing that never happened again, and this time it was in pole vaulting. Hang on, I'm trying. Where did it go? Where'd my pole vault story go? I have a cat. Oh, here it is. Trans track athlete wins varsity girls competition after previously placing last in JV boys. So junior varsity athlete as a boy finished last in Oregon. But now in the state meet, Leah Rose, who used to compete as Zachary. So see, that's how you do it, guys. You go from Zachary. See, this Harriet over there in England would have gone from Zachary to Zelda or something. It's like, no, you reinvent yourself completely. Zachary became Leah and won the high jump at the Portland Interscholastic League varsity relays with it's a high jump, not a pole vault. I apologize. Last year in the JV boys meet, Zachary finished 11th out of 11. This week as a woman, Leah won first place.
It is so frustrating. There is nothing that can reverse the advantage that men have over women. Men have, from birth, males have larger lungs than females. Adult males have larger hearts. Adult males have a higher level of circulating blood. Grown males are, on average, almost 5 inches taller. They have longer skeletal structures. They have greater bone mass. They have different bone geometry. I mean, there are significant differences that you can never reverse. Testosterone is not going to reverse these biological advantages that men have. And even in pool, people are going to say, well, pool is really a thinking. No. There's reach. There's other things that a male will have advantages over a female in pool. So this is, again, the activists on the left are going to say, well, these are women. They've been on testosterone. They meet certain levels of hormonal. They're the same as women hormonally. You cannot reverse the advantages men have over women, and this is why ultimately the men have won here. They've taken over
mediocre men.
Yeah, mediocre exactly.
Men that couldn't compete against other men.
That's
and
right.
All of you women who are in favor of this, who have reduced womanhood to the level of estrogen in your body, that is the most... If I said that about, what makes a woman, all that estrogen, that's insulting. That's misogynist. That's actually degrading to women, and you've bought into it. You've celebrated it. We've got 2 more stories. One more in the world of athletics. This one is Ultimate Frisbee, again, dominated by a man, won the championship. And we're going to talk about the real danger, even bigger danger than this, and that is what the Colorado State Legislature did over the weekend, endangering parents who want to protect their young daughters and sons from this. We'll get into that in a moment. First, though, it's 6:16. We better get straight to Jamie Whitten. In the rain likely all morning long up until noon, then scattered throughout the day, but it'll be rainy. Bring your bumper chute with you. High of 52 degrees. Tonight, slight chance of showers. Overnight low gets cold, 35 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny but chilly with a high of 48. Wednesday, sunny, high of 55. And then Thursday, we're going to get some showers back with a high of 60 degrees. Right now, it is a rainy 51. It's 17.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
News is brought to you by Baird Financial.
Need office furniture? Buy your furniture where WMAL did. PVI Office Furniture in Frederick. All right. First of all, I love beginning a segment with a correction. I said ultimate frisbee. I meant disc golf. I'm sorry. I get my frisbee sports mixed up. And I know people who are really into disc golf. Disc golf is a big thing around here in the Mid-Atlantic. There's a disc golf course nearby where I live, actually. It's a big deal. And as you can imagine, golf, disc golf and regular golf, which is hitting a ball with a club, your power, your ability to project either the ball or the frisbee a long distance is going to be a big part of the game, right? So I want you to listen to the commentary of the Disc Golf Championship when you hear this is televised. I love that disc golf is a big televised championship event. Here is Natalie. Natalie is hitting a tee shot here with the disc.
Natalie puts so much more power on that tee shot.
Yeah, Natalie puts so much more power on that tee shot. Do you know why Natalie does that? Because Natalie's Nathan. That's why. A dude has won this too. And again, disc sports, the disc golf, they try to act they're all woke. That's the thing. These are all former hippies, and they all like, let's do our frisbee golf, and so they like to, and then all their kumbaya-ism lets them destroy the sport for women, mind you. There's way more opportunities for dudes.
And just very quickly, grown males have approximately 36% greater muscle mass than grown females. That is about 40% more muscle mass in the upper body. Okay, 33% more in the lower body. So you're going to tell me that this is just because he put power behind that drive?
It's not like men have better upper body strength than women. Come on. Who's telling you that? Who's telling you that nonsense?
Every woman who can't open a jar this morning and hands it to her husband knows this is a fact.
I told you I thought she was just doing that to flirt with me and make me feel
Well, there's a little of that. Okay.
That high school student, by the way, who finished last in JV boys high jump and finished first in women's women's varsity high jump, the difference in the jump when he finished last, it was 4'6" was the last place jump. The first place jump, competing as a girl, 2 inches higher, 4'8". The difference between the last place and the first place in men's and women's is 2 inches. All right, but then let's get to this super dangerous thing. Colorado House of Representatives, which Colorado has been dominated by Democrats for the last 20 years. They put in a concerted effort to work from the grassroots, rebuild the Democratic Party, rebuild the state locally, and look at what they've done. They've dominated. They've won statewide. It used to be a swing state, remember? Colorado, now it's Democrat-dominated, and what have you got? Legalized pot, legalized transgender stuff. The economy is tanking. People can't stand living there. Yeah, Colorado. Okay, this weekend, the House of Representatives passed a bill, House Bill 25-1312, with a 36-20 vote. It classifies misgendering a child as a form of child abuse. It means that if a parent doesn't go along with their child's new gender, they can be deemed abusive, Child Protective Services can be called in, and the child will be taken away from those parents. That's exactly what they want to do in Virginia, the Democrats. That's exactly what Abigail Spanberger will do in Virginia if she wins the election. And Julie, this is the most insidious part of this story, actually. If that's not bad enough, what I just painted, they went to the vote in the Colorado state legislature by invoking Rule 16 of their legislature, which means no debate. So
oh my gosh.
if you opposed this and wanted to protect children and you wanted to take your stand on the floor and speak on the behalf of children and natural law and natural scientific biological realities, you didn't even get to debate it because they passed this without debate.
This is monstrous. And Larry, I'm so glad you mentioned this about Spanberger and about Virginia. This absolutely is coming. A couple sessions ago, they introduced a bill. The Virginia Democrats introduced a bill to criminalize parents for objecting to their children's often fleeting desire to be identified as a different sex, which often puts them on the path to medicalization and surgery. So this is very scary. The way of California is the way of Virginia
100%.
and Colorado.
You are 100% correct, and Virginians better wake up and recognize that. We actually have more, believe it or not, in California. Remember when Gavin Newsom said, "Oh yeah, this whole boys competing with girls, it's not fair." Didn't make a difference in the state legislature. They just passed a bill continuing the ability for boys to compete in women. They have rejected. There was a bill that was proposed to ban trans athletes' participation. Democrats stopped it. Gavin Newsom had nothing to say about it. We even have testimony from a poor girl who was removed from her cross-country team. She was on the team. She had made the team, but she had to be kicked off the team to make way for a boy to run as a girl. So this girl will now no longer be able to compete on her team. We've got her tested. We'll hopefully find time to play it later in the program. And by the way, we have trans critter news coming up because an Oregon mental health official identifies as a turtle.
Legitimately, she does. Yeah,
I mean,
she's a health official. She kind of looks like
they're
a
the
turtle.
Terps. Well, I got to say, she carries it off. We'll get into the details of that a little later as well. Right now it's 6:24.
Sometimes.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 6:37. It's O'Connor and Company. It's that moment in the day when your kids are getting shuttled out the door to the bus or to the carpool, and you got to make sure that they've got their phone with them and their lunch and all those other things. Just be a good mom, be a good dad, make sure that's happening, and then focus on what you want to focus on. For instance, at 7:05, Joe DeGenova will join us. At 7:35, Delegate of Maryland Matt Morgan will tell us what the Democrats just pulled off in Annapolis. 8:05, Katie Gorka, Fairfax Republican chairwoman, on a story we're going to get to moments from now. And then at 8:35, Steve Moore, Heritage economist, on those tariffs. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Julie, good morning.
Good morning.
And we have more trans craziness coming up, including that Oregon State mental health official who identifies as a turtle.
Oh, my God.
Yes, that's coming up. But let's focus on some of the craziness in our backyard, literally our backyard, Fairfax County. The school system, the school board, to be specific, has just officially eliminated parental input on sex education. Moms and dads in Fairfax County, as far as your elected representatives on the school board are concerned, should have no official say in the instruction of your children when it comes to sexual matters. That's children of every single age group. You have no say. They have eliminated what was the Family Life Education Advisory Committee. This gave parents a voice in what their children are being taught about sex, about gender, about family values. I am literally old enough to remember. I was a child at the time, but I do remember when sex education was implemented in a robust fashion in public schools. It was, by the way, the recommendation of your Department of Education out of Washington, D.C. Yeah. And there were a lot of areas in this country, rural areas, conservative areas, that said, we don't want schools instructing our children like that. And the answer from elected officials, from bureaucrats, from politicos, always the same. Oh, don't worry. You will always have a say in this. You will always have a consent. You will always have and no, parents are now systematically being kept out of the equation because, as Terry McAuliffe said, parents shouldn't have a say in such things.
Well, there's a reason they've done this, Larry, and that is because parents were objecting to the absolutely insane, radical curriculum where Fairfax County had proposed a change to their sex ed, which was going to introduce gender identity education to seventh graders, which, and I'm reading from a Nick Minnock, who's fabulous. He ABC7 local ABC News channel. He reported on this. He says the changes mean seventh graders would watch this video, which says in part, we do have different body parts, but let me take a minute here and say that in addition to girl parts and boy parts, there are also people who have different parts or intermediate parts, or people who do not fit in a traditional binary gender system of male and female. There are people who are trans or people who don't have a gender. This was going to be taught. A biological lie was going to be taught, and at an age where kids are susceptible to stuff. It confuses them. It might make them feel strange or unsure about things, and that's the point, to introduce this concept to young kids, so that there can now be trans-identifying kids who then require medication or require surgery. That's the whole point. They were trying to introduce this to a confused group of kids. Look, seventh grade, not a great time, okay? And again, they want to confuse kids even further by introducing these. That is why they've now taken parents out, because parents objected to this type of curriculum.
That's right. That's right. And they don't want you to have a say, and they just unanimously voted to keep you out of the conversation at the Fairfax County School Board. And I assure you, I know this is a constant theme, but the ballots have been set. There are no primaries for governor. So everything that's going on in Virginia should be shot through the lens of November's election. Who do you want sitting at the governor's desk when the bill comes across that makes Fairfax County's policy a Commonwealth-wide policy? Do you want Abigail Spanberger to be the person to veto what the Democrats have just put there? Or do you want Winsome Earl Sears to be the governor who will veto it? Because Sears will veto it. And Spanberger is going to spend the next 6, 8, 10 months raising money from those very people who are pushing this agenda. That's who she is owned by. That's who is bought and paid for Abigail Spanberger to be the next governor of Virginia. So parents, you don't have it. Forget it. Oh, this whole idea of books in the library at your schools, that's quaint. I wish that was our only issue, what books are in the school. That's what lost Terry McAuliffe the governorship, was the books. Now how about this? How about explicit instruction in the classroom from an authority figure teacher who is telling your child, without your say and without your consent,
and knowledge,
every radical LGBTQ ideology at every grade level. Yes, right now this is seventh grade, but now that you don't have a say, they'll be able to do whatever they want.
That's right.
All right. Meanwhile, who's calling the shots for Fairfax County Public Schools? Well, that would be the school board members, of course, like this guy, Kyle McDaniel, Democrat. In fact, not only is he on the school board, he's the budget chairman for the $4 billion Fairfax County School District, and he is now allegedly being accused of embezzling $175,000 from the company he worked for, and he spent the money on things like strip clubs and to pay for his campaign, according to a lawsuit from his former employer. They really are sending their best and their brightest, these Democrats, aren't they?
It is just revolting.
Coming up at 8:05, we're going to talk to Katie Gorka, the Republican chairwoman of Fairfax County, about both of these issues and a whole lot more. McDaniels chairs the school board's budget committee, by the way, at the time that the Fairfax County government is facing a $300 million budget shortfall. This is a guy who is accused of embezzling money from his company so he can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars from his company so he can spend it on strip clubs, and he's overseeing the budget for Fairfax County Schools, which is $300 billion in debt. So $300 million in debt, excuse me.
Just really quick, he's married. He has children. And he was elected with help from a national group, the LGBTQ Victory Fund, after claiming he was bisexual. So this guy's an activist and kind of it appears, allegedly an embezzler. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
And he is now voted to make sure that you, mom and dad in Fairfax County, have no say in sexually explicit instruction of every shape, color, and fashion that Carl Frisch, the childless chairman of the school board, determines is appropriate for your children. That's the system that is currently in place thanks to the Fairfax County Democrat Party. 644.
making sense of your world.
There are a lot of things that really tick me off.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of party politics, because somebody's got to hold their feet to the fire. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
All right, you just got done talking about the insanity in Fairfax County, Virginia, and as I mentioned at 8:05, we'll speak with Katie Gorka, chairwoman of the Republican Party of that county, coming up. Let's turn to Maryland real fast. The 90-day session is done. The budget has been resolved. Here's the bottom line. Governor Westmore and his Democrat allies have had to make up a $3.3 billion deficit. They claim they're making cuts throughout the state government and, of course, raising taxes and fees. The session should end late today, by the way. But according to Senate President Bill Ferguson, we had very targeted revenue raisers that were focused on those who have done the best over the last few decades, and for user fees that people utilize across the state of Maryland. I love this. Only the rich are paying. Only the rich are paying.
Sure.
It's bull, of course. They claim that they're making $2 billion in cuts, but they have yet to identify a lot of specifics there with their cuts, and those, of course, never come to fruition. This is all about taxes. And, oh, by the way, the Maryland Gender Identity Bill, they plan on using it to prohibit local school boards of control on their curriculum and authority for the through the state education board. This is Bill HB 161, and we're about to get a full detailed analysis of that and whether it's going to happen or not. It started as a bill for gender identity and sexual orientation as a standalone, but now, and it removes parents' ability to opt out of that instruction. Now they're building it into the entire legislative session. We're going to get Delegate Matt Morgan to detail all of that, what's about to happen under your nose. He's going to join us at 7:35. But boy, these Democrats are just obsessed with sex, aren't they?
They're obsessed with it, but also, they're obsessed with children, with introducing these concepts to children, and then couple that with the fact that they fight against school choice, so the point is to trap people, to trap parents in these school systems.
Yeah, can I just point out that a lot of the, you'll meet these Democrats and it's like, oh, I'm not into all that sexual gender stuff, but they all vote for it. They may not personally be obsessed with sex, but they are obsessed with the campaign funds they get from these outside the state activist organizations that are very wealthy. It's 6:52.